Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at Karen stories that will make you eye roll. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I'm out of work because of COVID, so occasionally I drive my husband to and from work because he has a long commute and at least once in a while I can do the driving for him. His shift started at 9:45. I had some shopping to do, so we walked in together. I went to grab a cart and go to the back of the line of regular shoppers waiting for the senior hour to finish up and be let in. My husband kisses my cheek and walks into the building. Now, we're in our 30s, definitely not close to the 55 plus. The lady at the front of the line starts shrieking that the man was just allowed in to shop and didn't wait in line like the rest of us. I stopped mid-cart grab and watched it unfold. My husband turns around and politely explains while holding up his name badge, sorry ma'am, I work here. I'm just showing up for my shift is all. I'm not cutting the line, I promise. She loses it. She demands to speak to a manager since people are being allowed to cut in line in front of her, and how she's been waiting for over an hour to get in. The doors didn't even open until 9 a.m. and there are signs everywhere explaining that 9 to 10 is senior hour and it has been this way for months. Don't you just hate it when people try to lie to make other people feel bad? My husband continues to try calm the lady down, explaining that he's an employee. His shift starts in 3 minutes. He's not cutting in line. He's clocking in for his shift. The person watching the door keeps explaining the same. How do you not even believe someone when they're saying, oh, actually, I work here. Yeah, sorry, I'm not cutting in line. How are you going to be like, no, you don't. You don't work here. Are you the boss? Finally, a manager comes to the front. Karen is now blue in the face from yelling and screaming. It's time for my husband to clock in, and he can't get past the front door because Karen keeps screaming. The manager explains that my husband is indeed there to work and get everything ready for the incoming flood of patrons. Karen was having none of it. My husband finally decides that in order to just end the situation, he'd use the back entrance at the complete opposite side of the giant building. Manager and husband share a very knowing look. Manager apologizes to Karen, who now looks incredibly righteous. Manager says he'll have a talk to the employee at the front door. There's some whispering. My husband's coworker smiles a little. They know what's about to come, you know. She's about to get proven wrong. It's now 10 a.m. and the doors are supposed to be open to everyone. Karen starts looking very, very impatient as the manager standing at the door tells her he can't let the general public in until there are 2 people at the door. We wait and wait and wait and wait. And about 5 minutes after 10, my husband walks up from inside the building to the door and calls Karen on into the building, apologizing for being late as he was being held up by her. I hope she knew what he meant. The laugh from the people in line behind her was just precious. She went from blue in the face screaming to red and embarrassed. Seriously, why did she have to cause all that trouble? Like, jeez. Why didn't she just believe him and be like, oh, my bad, you're an employee, my bad. No, but she had to be like, you're not an employee, I know who the employees are, okay? Like, everyone else is waiting in line too. Like, does she think she's the most special person in the entire world or something? Jeez. Okay, next story. So my wife has a cousin we'll call Karen. Karen's mum and stepdad are very successful doctors with 40 acres of land and a huge house. Karen has always been a spoiled brat, so it's no surprise that Karen's crotch goblin Stacy is also a spoiled brat. Wait, the kid? Crotch goblin. Wow, that's another way to say someone else's kid. One day I had just laid my daughter down for a nap when Karen called to ask if she could bring Stacy over for a play date. My daughter was notorious for taking long naps, and I told them it wasn't the best time. Karen came over anyway, telling me at the door that they'll just wait for daughter to wake up. What? So they barge in before I can refuse them, and we make light conversation. Stacy busies herself with daughter's toys while I sit through Karen complaining about her latest fight with her baby daddy. After about 40 minutes of small talk, I finally say, well, I don't think daughter is waking up anytime soon, so maybe we should do this another day. Karen looked at her phone and shrugged. We've been here this long, we might as well wait. I insisted daughter would be sleeping for a while longer, and Stacy had started complaining about being hungry. I pushed the issue of them leaving before Karen could ask me to feed her kid. This is where the real trouble began. Yo, why don't you just leave? Like, It's common sense. Like, you can sense it, you know, when you know if someone doesn't want you there. You can totally sense it. If they're like, oh yeah, maybe another time, then yes, they don't want you there, okay? They want you to go home, so go home. Stacey had been playing with a set of colourful ponies my daughter was very fond of, and when Karen told her to get ready to leave, Stacey continued to clutch the horses. Karen guided her to the door, horses in hand, and I had to stop them. Hey sweetie, could you give me my daughter's horses before you go? Stacey just held them tighter and turned away from me. I looked at Karen, who was just watching the exchange with no intention of getting involved. So I continued to coax Stacey into giving me the horses as nicely as I could. Stacey got more upset and turned further away from me the more I spoke. So I finally straightened up and gestured towards her while staring at Karen, silently demanding help. Karen just sighed and said, Stacey, could you leave daughter's toys here? But mummy, I like them. Karen looked at me and shrugged. I don't think she's gonna let them go. Maybe you should just get new ones for daughter. What? Like, seriously, if I was in this situation, like, how is that my problem that your daughter's being a brat? You know, you should teach your daughter that stealing is not good. I had to literally bite my tongue to keep from lashing out at Karen at that moment. Taking hold of the horses with one hand, I gently informed Stacey that I would be taking them. She yelled, no, and tried to tear them away from my grasp, but I firmly and smoothly took them from her arms. It wasn't a yank. I was trying to be nice this whole time, even though I wanted to swat that entitled tushy and stick a nose in the corner. Yo, swat. Stacey started wailing like I smacked her in the face, and Karen glared at me, swooping her child into her arms. She's going to be like this all the way home now. I just shrugged as Karen cooed at Stacey to get her to stop screaming. You should probably take her home then, before she wakes up daughter. I was no longer being nice to Karen. You should have just let her keep the horses. Karen glared at me again, doing the dance of the desperate parent. Ugh! Parents like this. That's why your kid is screaming. Like, seriously, if I was this as a kid, oh my gosh. How do you even behave like this as a kid, you know? Thinking you can just take someone else's toys and possession just because you want to? How do you even think like that as a kid? Oh, parenting gone wrong. I opened the door for her and gestured towards it. They belong to daughter. You can get some for Stacey yourself. Karen left grumbling about me being selfish with Stacey still screaming in her arms. Daughter slept for another hour, and in that time I got a phone call from my wife asking what had happened. Apparently Karen texted the whole family that I tortured Stacey and I'm just a fat bully. My wife knew none of that was true and wanted the real story. Things have kind of smoothed over with her family now, but every time Karen tries her stuff, little fights break out all over again because I'm the only one who will call her out. Good, I'm glad you do call her out, because she should know what an annoying person she is, okay? Like, seriously, how do you act that way towards another adult? This is why some kids grow up to be so spoiled and they think they run the world. Not good. Story number 3. Backstory. Our company had an issue with a product. We were aware of it but still had to do damage control. I was on the phone at the supervisor level and had been handling upset customers who didn't think our appeasement was sufficient and thought I had heard everything. Queen Karen. When a customer requests an escalation, someone in my role has to take it after the customer facing advisor briefs us on the case. This advisor warned me I had quite the handful here, and I said, no worries, I got this. And I joined the advisor when the customer was taken off of hold, and we were immediately greeted with, took you long enough. Due to the issue overwhelming us and management only approving overtime that day, we had a 45-minute escalation queue and our 5-minute briefing time had been reduced to 3 minutes. So this customer has been waiting about 48 minutes to speak with me. I was introduced and the advisor left the call. This is when the fun begins. Me, hello customer, I'm customer. I know the CEO and I'm a shareholder. I know my rights. If you don't give me what I want right now, I'll hang up this phone and you'll be fired. Me, okay, I apologize if you feel our appeasement offer is insufficient. I can escalate your case to see if we can grant an additional appeasement, but I would need at least 48 hours to see what can be done. Customer, I know the CEO. I can call him right now and have you fired, so do it now. In this moment, all my frustration and rage boiled over, and instead of screaming her stupid, I decided to call her bluff. Me after pausing to regain my composure. Ma'am, I can clearly see you are very important, and since you have clearly stated twice that you have a far more efficient path of escalation than any I can provide, I feel it is best that you follow your escalation path. Silence for a good 30 seconds, followed by, what? Me, you said twice during our conversation you can directly speak with our CEO. My escalation path ends far before the CEO or any other senior officer in the company, so I think it's best you follow your escalation path. Realizing she screwed up, she tries to walk it back. Customer, no, you see, me, no, I simply cannot allow you to continue down this path when you have a far more effective way to resolve this issue. I will make sure to note this in your case and on your account, so you don't have to bother with our less effective escalation path in the future. I hope you have a great day. Click. That's honestly the best way to end things. Oh, you know the CEO? Okay, then talk to them instead. Bye. Like, that's true, that's true. If you know the CEO personally and you're close to them, then complain to them instead. Why are you waiting 48 minutes in this call then? Jeez. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.